Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Poetry in the PM. Of course, it's me, same host. I haven't fired myself yet, so I guess I'm doing a good job. You guys are stuck with me. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you and your family and your loved ones are all safe and doing well. I want to thank all of our healthcare workers working tirelessly to protect us and keep us safe. We love you guys. If you're working in a hospital right now, no matter what you're doing, thank you so much. Let's keep respecting and helping our doctors by staying at home if we can. If you can't, I totally understand. And to all those people who, are essential workers who have been working, I'm happy that you've been able to work and you've been able to continue to earn for your family. But for those of you who were not essential and were furloughed or fired or let go, I'm feeling for you guys, and my heart is with you guys and with those families, and I hope that there's support for you guys in your communities and places and organizations that you can Google to get access, whether that's food or other resources for your family. So just thinking of you guys. I love you all. I want you all to be safe and healthy and well, and I hope you guys are doing well. I was just really inspired by this guy, Christopher Poindexter. I don't know who he is or who they are, if it's even their real name, but I'm going to read some more of his poems because I kind of like that they're short and sweet, but they pack a punch. And there's sort of a theme, I guess. So I'm going to jump right in. And this is, he doesn't name his poems. He just the poem, and then he puts his name. So there's a lot of these kind of, I don't want to call them Instagram poets because it sounds weird, but they are Instagram poets. So I'm just going to read his poem. What terrifies me most is not being able to make sense of my vulnerability. My softness is my reward. But the world is cruel and constantly makes me question it. So, the reason why I love this poem is I think, vulnerability is something, I think in our society, especially with men, that is often looked down upon, made fun of, laughed at. All of our sort of archetypes of men and what we're supposed to be is strong and tough and, hunter-gatherers that never shed a tear, never show emotion. They don't deal with stress. They eat stress alive. And we're fierce and we never hurt or have pain. And of course, that's not true. Of course, all humans and animals, living organisms, all feel pain, and we have to process pain. And so I thought that this poem was very beautiful because he says, my softness, in a way, his sensitivity, his vulnerability, is my reward. But the world is cruel and constantly makes me question it. So we have had moments where we've had great vulnerability. Maybe we opened up to a friend about something that happened to us, or something we're going through, or for people in the LGBTQ plus community, coming out, moments of extreme vulnerability. The reward is always incredible. You know what I mean? When you have someone who loves you, who is a true friend or a true member of family who accepts you in your vulnerability, the reward is immense. And often the feeling is that, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? Why wasn't I vulnerable sooner? Why didn't I break open my heart and expose and show people who I really am sooner? But the reason we didn't do it sooner is because, like the poem says, the world can be a very cruel place. And the media, television shows, radio stations, marketing billboards, all these kinds of things are usually reinforcing very old ways of thinking. So it doesn't help. But things are changing. Hollywood in the past 10 years has definitely changed. We've had a lot of, progress in getting minorities and people of color on television and film in a way bigger way, and not just below the line, but above the line. More starring roles, and then, also in the plight for women's rights and equal pay, there's been large leaps made there as well. You're seeing just a lot more content featuring women and women of color in a leading role, being paid, what their male counterparts are being paid. And there's still a long way to go. I'm not saying that any problems are solved, but it's a step in the right direction. And I'm happy that the world is sort of starting to wake up slowly and get that in place. But for men, it's being vulnerable is still not, I don't think, being reinforced enough. And I love this poem that it says that, you know what I mean? Because when we are vulnerable and we open up, or we cry, or we are allowed or feel comfortable to express our emotions, then we often have immense healing and growth from that. And so whenever there's an opportunity to do it, just do it. I have the profound gift and privilege of being an actor, in which case, in my profession, vulnerability is very much a currency in it. And from the moment you start acting and are taught to act, doesn't matter if you're Grotowski or Uta Hagen or whatever you study, school of thought for acting, they all come back to being vulnerable. They all come back to channeling your vulnerability and allowing yourself to be emotionally free and open. That is how you act. So for the longest time, that's been something that I've been giving myself permission to feel, and often being rewarded for it, because that's what leads to great performances. So but there really is no other profession in the world that not only forces you, but rewards you for being vulnerable. So to that I say, just if you guys can have more conversations about, vulnerability, if you see, a woman, of course, but a man in your life, who is having trouble opening up, or seems like they're trying to open a door but they're getting resistance, open that door for them. Say, hey, do you seem like you have something to say? Can I listen? Do you feel okay talking here? Would you like to go somewhere more private? I'd love to listen and hear what you're going through, and allow, that person that space to feel safe. Because often it's not the person, it's the setting, which is a strange thing, right? How I could be with someone who makes me feel safe, but I'm not in a setting or a place that makes me feel safe to share my story or my trauma. And so really just being a listener and catering to what that person needs is super important. So yeah, and again, this is all linked to mental health. It's like I can't not link almost every discussion we have back to mental health, because being vulnerable, exposing and expressing ourselves, this is what leads us to great mental health. It's sort of like a purging and an emptying of our soul. So every once in a while, it's great to just put on a sad song and have a good cry, and you'll feel a lot better after it. And you don't have to think too much about what you're crying about. Sometimes it's very obvious. And sometimes you're just like, whoa, I had some emotion just flow through me. I have no idea what that was, but I'm glad I got it out. I feel really amazing now. It's like being on a roller coaster or a fast ride, or doing anything that's exhilarating. Afterwards, your brain has all these incredible endorphins that rush in to give you these immense feelings of joy, similar to like when you finish like a workout or something really exhilarating. So when he says in the poem, what terrifies me most is not being able to make sense of my vulnerability. My softness is my reward. And it is, because when we allow ourselves to be in that state of mind, to be emotional, to be available and hold space, not just to hold space for someone else, but hold space for yourself. Allow yourself to be open and vulnerable. Then you have this massive reward. So anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I just wanted to say, if there's someone in your life who is maybe going through something, or they're trying to share something with you, just try to see if you can slowly open that door and be a person of service that can just hold space for them and allow them to move through it, because it's not easy. So anyways, see if I can read another one of his poems. So this is again on vulnerability. I want to paint vulnerability on a canvas and show it to children. And I want them to marvel at it and be washed in it, because truly, in all of my living, being sensitive is the most beautiful fucking thing I have ever experienced. So, apologies for my swearing, pardon my French, but it's what the poet wrote, and we read what the poet wrote. And it's true, because, these things and these sort of old archaic ways of thinking, of gender roles, gender stereotypes, come from trying to keep people in boxes. And of course we have to break free of that, right? Society since the beginning of time has made very clear what a woman is supposed to do, and very clear what a man is supposed to do. But now, at least in North America and some parts of the world as well, in Europe and, in the past 50 years in more developed countries, we've seen this move, and gender roles are starting to become more fluid. And, you'll have stay-at-home dads, or you'll have, men doing a lot of the cooking and cleaning, and the woman is the breadwinner, and all these different kinds of things, and they're kind of bleeding into each other, which is the way it should be. A partnership should be a team, and you should both work together and complement each other with your strengths and weaknesses, and be a true partnership. So I'm glad that these things are happening. But in the poem, he's talking about children. So it's instead of having to undo childhood trauma in our adulthood and re-explain and rewire all of these things that are happening, wouldn't it be amazing if in our childhood we were actually just taught the right things, so that we didn't have to do all this undoing and rewiring in our adulthood as we unravel all the things that we were taught when we were kids that are horrible, or racist, or all these horrible things that can be taught to children. When you see two children play, whether they're white or black or brown, they just love each other and they just play. Racism is not in existence, because it can't, because racism, discrimination of any kind, is taught. It's the way it is. You can only be taught it. So wouldn't it be great if all these amazing things, like to love ourselves, to be okay to be vulnerable, to be open to who we are, all these things, if we were taught when we were children, we wouldn't have all this trauma to undo when we were older. So I love his poem about, I want to paint vulnerability on a canvas and show it to children, and I want them to marvel at it and be washed in it. It's a beautiful, beautiful image. All right. Well, I'm going to see if I can bring someone on to read a poem. Would anybody like to read a poem? I would love to share my poems to just get everything out. Okay. Mick Gymnast. Do you have a poem, Mick Gymnast? M-I-K Gymnast. Do you have a poem? Because if you do, you want to come read it? Who wants to read a poem? Who wants to read a poem here? Malay H. Metcalf. Do you want to read a poem? Malay H. Metcalf. Okay, let's see. Mick Gymnast. We'll see if you have a... You said you have a poem. Hello.
Hi,
What is your name?
Michaela.
Michaela. Hello, Michaela.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you?
Greenwich, Connecticut.
Okay, very. You guys okay? Your family all good?
We had some people in our family catch it. My dad had it, and my great grandmother just passed from it.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Well,
She
well,
had some other issues with it.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Well, why don't we dedicate this poem to your grandmother? Okay, this is for her.
Okay.
All
It's
right.
more of like a
Well,
dark poem, so.
oh, okay. Let's hear it.
People are peculiar creatures. All their actions are driven by desire, their characters forged by pain. As much as they try to conquer their pain, they put an end to desire. They cannot release themselves for internal slavery to their feelings. As long as the storm rages within them, they can find no peace, not in the life, not in death. And so day after day, they will do all that must be done. Pain in their ship, desires as their compass. Shadowed in despair, lost in a world of endless fear, all I can do is stand here in a world of fear, waiting for you, my dear. When will you arrive? The darkness calls to thee from somewhere deep within. When I come to say, may I pray? What do you say? Won't you say till another day? Dark was the only light. Sweet dreams were broken when I looked upon the sky. Hateful words spoken. I had to say my goodbyes. Down the hall I went, where dark was the only light. The frown was resent. The bright day was barely out of sight. Deep in my sad mind, where I lay down on the grass, where I tried to find whatever could truly last. I look into the sky where darkened gray clouds coming to rain starts to fly down upon the weathered skin. I then close my eyes to let the dark close down on me where soft cries as I die in a hole.
Wow, that was quite the poem. That was you were reading at such a fast pace. You were just galloping along. I was
I
barely
know I'm
keeping
kind of
up with.
shaky.
You're a wonderful reader, though. Wow.
Thank you.
I don't even think I can read that fast. I tried to get everything that you were saying. I was barely keeping up. So tell me a little bit about this poem. How did you find it?
Well, I actually just wrote it like 10 minutes ago
Wait, you
with,
wrote this poem?
yes.
Oh, this is your poem.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow, I am very impressed.
Yes, so I just wrote this one.
Wow.
And
Is
I
this your
wrote it
first
with one of my
poem
good
or
friends, Jada.
oh, okay. You wrote it together. That's nice.
Um, and I wrote it more so just to get all my like feelings out and just to like have everything out. And then I read it to Jada, thinking like I wouldn't read it to anyone else, just to like open that door and tell people what I was thinking.
Great. Well, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
What did Jada think of it?
Oh, she really liked it. She's
Oh,
on the live right now.
oh, okay, great. Hello. I'll say hello to her. So is this like the first poem that you've ever written, or have you written other poems?
I have written other ones. I've also written some monologues because my sister is like an actor sometimes, like an actor. So I like write stuff for her and then she'll act it out.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Is that what you think you might want to be when you grow up, a writer? You like writing?
not really. I just do it just to get everything out. I think I want to be more so a football coach, but
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know.
Okay,
Yeah.
football coach. Do you like playing or just coaching?
Mm, uh, well, I do gymnastics, and my
Okay.
dream school is LSU. So I'm thinking I would kind of compete at LSU and then try doing head coaching at LSU.
Amazing. Well, you sound very ambitious. Sound like you got a lot of amazing goals.
Yeah,
I think you're going to do really good. I liked your writing and your poem a lot.
thank you.
And I'm sure everybody else is very, very excited and was, I mean, I'm seeing so many comments here saying that you're brilliant and beautiful and your poems are amazing. So I hope you feel the love.
I do.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your poem today. I hope your family's all good. And again, you know, this is for Mikhail's grandma today. We dedicate it to her.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Be well. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye bye. Well, wasn't she just amazing? What a treat that we got to share her poem. Um, wow. I almost, you know what, Michaela, if you could you maybe send me that poem so I could read the whole thing again? Because I mean, I got I got a lot of it, but I missed a lot of it too because you were reading so fast. You're such an amazing reader. So I'd like to really sit down with it and read every line of it again. And so please send it to me, and maybe I can share it with you guys too. So again, she said something really amazing, which is that it helps to get it out. And so that's, it's a really important and common theme that we keep talking about, in poetry and writing, talking, all these things. It's just about getting it out. And when we relieve ourselves of these burdens that are in our mind, our Poetry in the PM friend Jada, who has come on the show, in her poem, she referred to her mind as this cage. And I think it's a great metaphor, because when negative thoughts are trapped in our mind, then they eat away at our mind, they eat away at our soul. But if we can take them out of our mind, put them on paper, or just verbally speak them to a friend or a loved one, suddenly they can't eat away at us anymore. You know what I mean? Or at the very least, we've hurt them and brought down their defenses, and made us a little stronger. So thank you, Michaela, for sharing that. A beautiful poem. I mean, you're so young, and to have that much depth at your age, my God, I think you're going to do great. So yeah, I'm going to take some questions from you guys, yeah, I would love to hear any questions, comments. Oh, wait, Jada. Oh, you know Michaela? You guys know each other? I'm the same person who wrote with Michaela. Oh, okay. So, okay. I don't know how you guys know each other. Oh, Madison from the other day says, "What color braces should I get today?" I don't know. You don't want Madison. Don't give that responsibility to me. Pick whatever favorite color you have. Whatever is your favorite color. Should we get somebody else? I don't know. I kind of feel like having somebody else on. I don't know. I'm feeling the poetry today. I like it. Can't believe all these amazing young girls who are so talented and so young. It's like mind-boggling. I did not have that depth when I was your age, guys. I had not processed my feelings clearly. So take it from me, kids. Anybody else want to read a poem? If not, I'm gonna sign off. But if anybody wants to read a poem, F. Elizabeth Jane. Hello, F. Elizabeth Jane. So she asks, how do you deal with anxiety and stress? I deal with anxiety and stress with fitness. I will work out. I like cycling rather. I'll go on really long bike rides. Anytime my heart rate is up and I'm sweating and I'm panting and my blood is pumping, my heart is pumping, I really relieve a lot of my stress and anxiety. And when I come back from, today I did about 40 kilometers. I come back from that, I'm exhausted and I just feel amazing. So that's how I deal with stress. Cold showers are amazing. Paolo, let's talk cycling, bello. Yeah, so, and I'm sure Paolo also relates. When you come back from a big ride, your brain is filled with all these amazing endorphins. You just feel so good. So it's hard to be stressed. But of course, like anything, it doesn't last forever. So you got to keep doing it. And cold showers really help. Usually in the mornings, I'll take a really cold shower for about 5 minutes. That really helps. So if I'm feeling particularly stressed one day, I might do that a couple times during the day. Yeah, that's kind of, and poetry, reading. Reading, it's a little bit kind of like a distracting that monkey in your brain that wants to think about negative things. You give it a task, right? You give it a task, give it a job, and you're not able then more to focus on those things. So, can I share my poem, Bo Salin? Yes, it's by Adrian Rich. Sure. Bose Allen. Okay, let me see if I can get you on here. I can't seem to see you. Bose Allen, did you join? So guys, if you guys have a poem and you want to read it and you want me to join you, you have to click the request to join live button. Otherwise, I can't see you. Okay. So again, Bose Allen, I am. Oh God, I am Paloma Christina. Paloma Christina. I am Paloma Christina. Oh my God, you don't notice me. I do notice you. There, I just noticed you. Um, who has a poem? Let Sophia read. Who's Sophia? Who's Sophia? Does she have a poem? Does this Sophia girl have a poem? Let me see. Is there a Sophia in here? I don't see a Sophia in the requests. I do not see a Sophia here. Or Sophia CH13. Is that it? Sophia CH13. Is that the one? Is Sophia CH13? Is that do you have a poem you want to read? Come on, guys. Sophia CH13. Do you have a poem? Seems like somebody was saying you were. No? Anybody else have a poem? Bueller? Going once, going twice? Okay, Sophia, you're here. Do you have a poem? Do you want to read? I see you, Jada. I'll bring you back one day. I'm going to try and let some other people get in. You've gone on twice. Do you have a poem, Sophia? You got something to read? You answer me, Sophia? I saw that you said you're here, but do you have a poem? I don't want to bring you on and you don't have a poem. Sophia, going once, going twice. Okay, I have to move on to somebody else. She said yes. Okay, I'm going to bring her on. Okay, let me see here. Sophia. Let me see. Okay. Let me see here.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
How are you doing?
I assume you are Sophia.
Yes, I'm Sophia. I have a
Okay.
poem I would love to read.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
Okay, so
Where
basically,
where in the world do we find you, Sophia?
I am from Florida.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yes, so I've been quarantining. It's been nice. I've been reading a lot more poetry actually. In my English class, my teacher has assigned us like a lot of poems to read, and I saw your live streams, and actually one of the times you read a Robert Frost poem, and we've been doing a lot of work with his poetry. So it was
Oh,
really
cool.
cool.
Great.
Yes. So I have a poem called Bond and Free, and I actually did a project on it, and I really liked it. So yeah,
Now, is this a poem you wrote or a poem that you found?
no. It is a poem that I found. It's by Robert Frost.
Bond and Free?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just looking it up here so I can read along with you here.
Okay.
Okay, Bond and Free, beautiful. Okay, take it away.
Okay. Just some context on it. It's about two ideas, love and bond, and they talk about how love is bonded and it's like kind of trapped in earth and it's tied down, but then thought has freedom and it's sort of like unlimited and it can wander in like space and everything. So it's really the poet Robert Frost kind of battling between these two ideas. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. It's pretty short. So,
Okay.
Love has earth to which she clings, with hills and circling arms about, wall within wall to shut fear out. But thought has need of no such things, for thought has a pair of dauntless wings. On snow and sand and turf I see, where love has left a printed trace, with straining in the world's embrace, and such is love and glad to be. But thought has shaken his ankles free. Thought cleaves the interstellar gloom, and sits in Sirius's disk all night, till day makes him retrace his flight, with smell of burning on every plume, back past the sun to an earthly room. His gains in heaven are what they are, yet some say love by being thrall, and simply staying possesses all, in several beauty that thought fares far to find fused in another star. Yeah,
Very, very beautiful.
I really love this poem, and I just wanted to share it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I got to do some research on Sirius's disk. I wonder what that is. That must be some kind of maybe astrology.
Yes, it's astrology. I think it's basically implying that like thought is boundless, but then earth and love are sort of intertwined. So yeah, I thought it was really beautiful, and I think like overall, Robert Frost, he was trying to say that, like at first he depicts love as like a very like trap thing. That's what he means by bond, and then he's saying that thought is free. So at first he kind of speaks of love in like a negative light, saying it's like very trapped to the earth. But then at the end, he actually like says how love is free in its ability to remain satisfied, and thought will always be like looking for something more. And so in a way, thought is actually kind of bond by this always like never-ending desire for more.
Very
Yeah.
beautiful. I think you got it all figured out. I think that's a beautiful
Yeah, I
interpretation of
love
the
his
poem.
poetry.
Yeah, and I think, it's, love combined with thought. Um, there's action there. So
Yes.
it's that it's not love alone
For
that
sure.
creates the bond, but with thought and with action, you can achieve anything. It's limitless, like you said, right?
Yes.
But maybe love in its essence by itself, without anything
hmm
around it, maybe is limiting, and that's what sort of he was trying to draw attention to.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and yeah, and it's I talk a lot on here about the poems and its relationship to nature, because nature is so often referenced in
hmm
poetry. The trees, the sky, the moon, the stars,
Yeah.
all these things that we marvel at, all these things that we look at, and we wonder, how we got here and why they're there, and all these things.
hmm
And so it's with no surprise that these great poets often refer to nature within them, because it's where a lot of love and beauty comes from, and
Yes.
it's always existed.
hmm
Well, thank you so much, Sophia, for bringing this poem.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you and your family stay safe in Florida, and
Thank you.
be well.
You too.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye. Okay, so thank you so much to Sophia, Michaela, for coming on today. You guys rock. You guys brought amazing poems. Really appreciated it. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Poetry in the PM. Love you guys. Bye bye.